And I've never been more convinced that Jesse Bam Rodriguez beats him. Honestly, like for a long period of time, I thought it might be a step too far for Jesse. But now Jesse's up at bantamweight and feels big and strong there. Like, I just think he's too good for him. He's 26 years old. I don't see Bam losing to Inoue. And I thought Inoue would go through Nakatani and do a right job on him. And by all accounts, it was a very competitive fight. So respect this. He's an amazing fighter and he's a superstar. I know Bam beats him because Bam's got it in here.
Eddie Hearn backed Jesse Bam Rodriguez to beat Naoya Inoue, flipping the narrative from a one-sided fight into a real upset threat. Timothy Bradley warned that despite Bam's skill, the weight jump made Naoya Inoue the stronger and more complete fighter at this stage.
I guess my question to you, Tim, can he beat the monster? Can he slay the monster?
Come on, man. Come on. Look, man. There's weight classes for a reason, right? Ain't that what we say all the time? You know, I know Bam is special. Hey, look, man, look, you gotta go up to 118, 122, you know what I mean? Like, those a couple of weight classes up, Bam. I think Bam is very skillful. I love Bam. I love his style. I think he's a tremendous fighter, man.
Bruce Carrington saw a clear gap, believing Naoya Inoue's level left no realistic path for an opponent trying to outbox him at range.
And as long as Inoue doesn't really like fight him on the outside, I think that Nakatani, that's a strong suit. I feel like it'll be an easier fight for Inoue, but Inoue's feet is just too fast. He's very explosive. I think he's quicker than Nakatani as well. Stronger. I think he's just a well-rounded fighter, and I think at this point, I don't see Inoue losing in that fight. So I'm pretty confident that Inoue's gonna, do this fight, do another one, and then come to featherweight, and I'll be right there waiting for him.
Bruce Carrington also made it clear that any move to Japan would depend on the right financial and legacy conditions, with Madison Square Garden still a priority.
All the shots up here, you know what I mean? Like, you are who you are, I get it, but I am who I am too, and I'm gonna be, one of the best when it's all said and done. Y'all just don't know yet. I already know I'm the best, so I'm gonna express my leverage for sure. But if it makes sense to fight in Japan, the most sense to fight over fighting out here in the US, for sure I'll fight in Japan. But if not, come to Madison Square Garden, man. Like, that's all it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like he could build an American market out here, be even much more of a bigger star.
Jesse Bam Rodriguez showed no hesitation, making it clear he was ready to face Naoya Inoue whenever the opportunity appeared. He positioned himself as fearless, willing to take the biggest risk available.
Now, I'm sure you read all the press clippings, the big elephant in the room. You and Naoya Inoue, you have a big fight coming up. He has a very big fight coming up early next month. You want to go back down, obviously, to fulfill Undisputed, but what would happen if that fight came on the table?
I'm ready whenever. That fight's been brought up just as much as Chocolatito fight back then, so if that fight was presented to me right now, I'd definitely go ahead and take it.
Chris Algieri placed Naoya Inoue on another level entirely, pointing to his dominance and world title success. Chris Algieri believed Naoya Inoue had a strong case as the pound-for-pound #1 fighter.
But he's just still the longevity, man. 28-0 in title fights, 27 consecutive title fights, taking on all comers. I know a lot of you out there haven't heard of some of the guys, but these are world-class fighters that he's stepping into the ring with time and time again. We're waking up early in the morning for years now, watching this guy put on a show. And yeah, it's not the spectacular virtuoso performance that he had against Stephen Fulton, or a knockout of Donaire, or a stoppage that he had of Neary.
Timothy Bradley doubled down, warning that moving up in weight against Naoya Inoue's power was extremely dangerous. Timothy Bradley stressed that even elite fighters could struggle under that kind of physical pressure.
Man, there's weight classes for a reason, right? Ain't that what we say all the time? I know Bam is special. Hey, look, man, look, you gotta go up to 118, 122, you know what I mean? Like, those a couple of weight classes up, Bam. I think Bam is very skillful. I love Bam. I love his style. I think he's a tremendous fighter, man. One of the best we've ever seen.
Eddie Hearn highlighted that Jesse Bam Rodriguez was already chasing the biggest challenges available, and a move up in weight could open the door to a massive showdown. Eddie Hearn believed that if the timing aligned, this fight would not only happen, but also become one of the defining matchups in boxing, with both fighters bringing elite skill and serious risk to the table.
たくさんのファイターが井上さんに挑戦したいと言っています。その中にバム・ロドリゲス選手もいると思います。階級をもしかしたら上げてバム選手と対戦するということは可能性はあるんでしょうか。
そうですね、彼が、階級を上げてきてスーパーバンタム級という階級でタイミングが合うのであればそこは、待ち受けたいなと思ってます。
Timothy Bradley remained consistent in his view, seeing Naoya Inoue as the clear favorite due to the physical advantages that would likely show early. Timothy Bradley believed that while Jesse Bam Rodriguez had the talent, the size and power difference could quickly become overwhelming once the exchanges intensified.
When you strip away the hype and the fan debates, Bradley's final prediction is sobering. He believes that if the fight happens next, Naoya Inoue is the clear favorite. He admits that Bam flows like water, and that his movement is beautiful to watch. Bradley's analysis suggests that Inoue's accuracy and power would eventually catch Bam, and because Bam is smaller, he wouldn't be able to absorb the punishment. It's a harsh assessment, but it comes from a place of respect. Bradley isn't hating on Bam. He's trying.
On the other hand, Robert Garcia argued the matchup was far more realistic than people were giving it credit for. He pointed out that Bam and Inoue both came up from the same division, making this a natural fight, not one of those reckless weight jump comparisons people kept throwing around.
Canelo and Crawford were like, it's just too big of a weight class, or is this like a realistic thing for you guys?
It is very realistic. Look, Canelo started at 154, Tank at 135, so that's a big difference. With Inoue and Bam, they both started at 108. They both, it's just that Inoue's a little bit older. He's matured a little bit more body-wise and everything. That's why he's fighting at 122, not because he's a lot bigger than Bam.
Albert Gonzalez broke down exactly what made Bam so difficult to figure out. He explained that Bam's biggest weapon was not power, it was his ability to stay right in front of opponents while making them miss constantly, turning their openings into counters before they even realized what happened.
I know that he's fighting in a bigger weight class and he has the experience, throughout his years and has the punching power. But when people see Bam, I've heard footwork. Like Inoue would have to watch the footwork. Like it doesn't matter how strong, how fast, the footwork's gonna get him. Is that something that you kind of can agree that his footwork?
I could definitely 100% agree with that, because like I said, Bam's footwork is not necessarily him pressuring you with punches, but his presence of him right in front of you.
Gonzalez also warned that Inoue had never faced a fighter with Bam's level of distance control and timing. He stressed that missing against Bam was dangerous. Every defensive moment became a sharp counter, and that pattern could create real problems even for the best fighter on the planet.
It's kind of like the Shakur thing, where they're right in front of you, but you still can't hit him. Because he's coming around, he's coming to the other side, he's coming back. You think you're just in time to hit him, he steps back and now he hits you. He's managed his distance very greatly, where he doesn't smother himself or he doesn't overreach as well. He understands the distance between sometimes opponent, and I see this about Bam, like they'll try to smother him and he'll take a little step and boom.
Chris Algieri made it clear that Inoue was the one in complete control of boxing's biggest decisions right now. Everything ran through him. If Inoue wanted Bam Rodriguez, that fight happened. If he didn't, he could simply keep moving up and chasing even bigger challenges at featherweight.
That's really the question, whether this fight's going to happen or not. But really, Inoue's in the driver's seat. Whatever he wants to do is what happens. If he wants to hang out for Bam, Bam 100% will take the fight. If he goes, you know what? Sorry, kid. Timing. We're passing ships in the night. I'm going to 26. I have bigger fish to catch.
Literally.
Then he goes to 26, and I don't know. So, but
it's just a cool.
He's the man. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
However, Robert Garcia urged patience. He believed that in 2 or 3 years, Bam would be in his prime and a real problem for anybody, not just Inoue. Just like Inoue was dangerous now, Garcia felt Bam was growing into that same kind of threat.
How big of a problem is Bam for Inoue?
Well, when the time comes, 2-3 years from now, Bam will be 26, 27. He'll be in his prime. He'll be solid. He'll be strong. He'll be a grown man. So I think it's a problem for anybody, not just Inoue. Just like Inoue is a problem for everybody, I think Bam could be the same problem in the next 2 or 3 years for anybody.
Oh man, that's.
Steven Navarro broke down why Bam Rodriguez versus Inoue was already a special fight on paper. two dominant fighters, clean records, and elite runs at the top. However, Navarro admitted the matchup he was most personally excited about was Inoue versus Nakatani, calling it a stylistic clash the boxing world was not fully ready to discuss yet.
Who do you think wins or how things go out? But for a fight fan, right? That's just interested of the idea of Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez, right? I mean, why is that such a significant fight? Because some people might look at the idea of, Bam's a little smaller, hasn't made it up in that weight. But just what makes that fight, or maybe not, in your opinion, such a special or not special fight?
You know what? It is a special fight.
On the other hand, Showbiz the Adult pointed out that even the fighter himself admitted he was not satisfied with his own performance. He believed he should have done better, and that self-criticism was now fueling the entire debate over what fight came next.
He was like, listen, Hernandez, he deserved the nod. But they gave it to Nakatani. But after Nakatani versus Hernandez performance, now we want to know, what do you want next? Inoue versus Nakatani or Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez? And a lot of you guys are hoping for Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez fight. Now, Naoya Inoue, in his post-fight interview, he was very humble about his performance, saying he didn't really like his performance against Picasso.
Bruce Carrington believed that becoming unified champion first would set everything up perfectly, forcing Inoue to come chasing him. But Carrington also made it clear he was not just another name in the division. He was confident he was the one who could spoil that entire plan and control the whole narrative.
Later on, so I don't got to worry about certain things and stuff, see things up with my kids and things of that nature.
And just unifying against one of these guys, does that give it even more priority, like to put yourself at the front of the line for that kind of big fight ahead of the other champions?
100%, definitely. Because I know in a way he has that like real competitive mentality when he wants to just be undoubtedly known as the best. So if I was to, get the unified chance to fight and then get the title, and then he comes up, he's gonna be like, I want that guy.
Showbiz the Adult also argued that Inoue did not just beat fighters, he mentally dismantled them, draining their confidence round by round until there was nothing left to work with.
It's mesmerizing at times to watch, and it's probably mesmerizing for his opponent, Darren, that he can essentially stand in front of him, and the threat of that power and the speed and the movement, it just saps his opponent's self-belief as he lands a sneaky body shot right there.
I mean, it saps you of everything, self-belief, you're empty in the tank, and you're always having to stay ultra switched on, and it's so difficult, but it is.
That is a fantastic performance from Naoya Inoue.
Albert Gonzalez highlighted that Bam's footwork and distance control were what truly made him elite. No matter how opponents approached him, Gonzalez explained that Bam always adjusted and controlled the rhythm, turning every exchange into a chess game he was already 3 moves ahead of.
Little things like that makes a big difference, because sometimes you want to throw a big punch, now they smother you, overextended, you miss. Bam understands the distance on all of that, so that's what makes him so dangerous. Is if sometimes he's a little too close, he'll take that little step back, or he'll take that little step to the side and give himself that space, and his foot, it all comes with his footwork, because he understands the distance and he plays everything with his feet.
However, Showbiz the Adult noted that fan demand was now shaping matchmaking decisions at the highest level, and if the pressure from the public stayed high enough, Inoue versus Bam could become a real possibility sooner than anyone expected.
Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez or Inoue versus Nakatani. And as far as Terrence Bud Crawford, is he on your Mount Rushmore? And Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. I'm favoring Keyshawn Davis, but the thing is, he said he wiped the slate clean of, all the guys that he was associated with. And a lot of people are wondering, when he swept everybody up in that tornado, was Bomac a part of that sweep? Because Keyshawn Davis with Bomac is just like peas and carrots, and they have been extremely successful together.
Meanwhile, Jesse Bam Rodriguez kept his focus locked on becoming undisputed. He made it clear that one belt remained, the path ahead was clear after his IBF fight, and he ranked himself number 4 pound for pound. Bam also hinted that a future showdown with Naoya Inoue was something that could happen one day, but the undisputed mission came first.
Hopefully fight the winner of that sometime next year.
You're an extremely humble man, but where do you rank yourself on the pound-for-pound list now?
Oh, I think number 4.
Okay.
I still have Crawford number 1, and then Usyk Inoue, and then myself.
Okay. That fight with Inoue one day down the line?
We'll see, maybe.
Jesse, congratulations. Final message to your fans and supporters back home.
And Gary Antoine Russell closed it with pure respect. He praised both Naoya Inoue and David Benavidez as two of his favorite fighters in boxing today, highlighting their elite skill, creativity, and overall dominance. Russell made it clear that both fighters represented the absolute highest level the sport had to offer right now.
Surprisingly, my two favorite fighters in this era, for real, outside of my brother, because I gotta say my brother. Yeah. Fastest hands in boxing and etc. The creativity, all that, it's through the roof. But Monster, and there we go. Monster, and who's fighting? David Benavidez. Nice.
That is it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time. Every voice covered today saw this matchup differently, and that split told you everything about how genuinely complicated and exciting Bam Rodriguez versus Naoya Inoue truly was. Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Does Bam pull off the upset of the decade, or does Inoue prove once again that nobody on the planet is ready for him? If this breakdown gave you a clearer picture, hit that like button. It pushes this video to more real boxing fans who actually care about the sport. And if you want every expert breakdown, every prediction deep dive, and every big fight analysis before the bell rings, subscribe right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a single upload. We are building something real here, for fans who want more than highlights and hot takes. Share this with anyone who thinks they already know how this fight plays out. After watching this, they might think twice. See you on Fight Night.